Yo, what's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of D&D. Today, we'll be speaking to one of the friends of the show that we call Disturbers. We'll be covering specific topics around how to get into the acting industry, the dynamics that are actually involved, and the barriers of entry, and then also understanding the critical roles that each person plays in the space: agents, managers, directors, and the works. So please sit back, enjoy, and don't forget to dial and help us help you discover.
What is an up-and-coming actor watching this right now? What's that conversation look like?
I think the easy part is investing in themselves, you know?
Yeah.
In music, I'm going to direct the chat. In music, we've kind of switched from being discovered by a record label to being discovered on social, right?
Justin Bieber.
Yeah. How does one navigate the agent part? Because you have consultants, you have booking agents, you have people that kind of represent you in a room to broker a deal. We know that that's an important player. I mean, if we can just mention, what are the shows? Like, give us a couple of the shows that the peoples might know or might not know.
Bro, I've been very blessed, man, to be honest.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are good. It's another episode of Dial and Discover,
Yes, sir.
aka D&D, with yours truly, Calvin Mercy and Sia Nhlungu.
What's up, brother?
What's good, my brother?
Bless.
You good?
Good to see you, yeah.
Nah. I always mess with pulling up on the set.
Yeah.
Chop it up a little bit.
It actually starts feeling like the times we can actually catch up because, the
'cause
schedules are,
we're always on the move. Like,
Yeah.
even now, I just came from like a whole morning situation into meeting just before this, and then I got here, did a couple of calls before I got in.
How's the week been? What's been going on?
Week has been strong.
Okay.
Just wrapped up a big project that we did, I think last week. We shot a whole big music video, big budget situation.
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
So do I always have to pretend like I don't know what's going on?
No.
Big project. Nice.
This is not the show. On this show, Kelvin and Sia are brothers and are associates, and they operate some stuff. No. Of course, you know what's going on. You know, you're on the set.
No, that was a hard operation, man.
Shout out. Bro. So we just literally closed that.
Yeah.
That I think it's interesting working with corporates.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the whole thing, that even though we're navigating this creative project, which is a whole music video,
right,
when you throw in a corporate into that, you must understand the dynamics,
right,
like, are different. Like,
100%.
you know, like, even when we shoot the podcast right now, we have some leeway on some elements. We have some control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or not even some, I think a lot of control.
100%.
Right, on aspects or whatever. But when you get a brand into the equation, you need to factor what you want to do as your outcome and what the brand also is positioning. Yeah. And I think a lot of the times, in the cases where I've had conversations with individuals where they want to bring brands into stuff, they really want to push and have the control element. But I'm like, you can't not forget that the brand also has its own missions and goals.
Yes. And that's the basis of the collaboration, right?
Exactly.
Otherwise, they just operate their operation, you operate yours. But when you come together.
You get what I'm saying?
You have expectations of them and vice versa.
Yeah.
That was dope.
So that was the interesting thing. And it was very challenging for us because the bigger the number you're operating with the brand, the more you've got to give attention to it for you to be responsible in how you use it and to communicate how that happened. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what was interesting in the whole exercise was like learning like how a lot of people, when they engage with brands, even though like now those that do, right? They don't really communicate back. Yeah. Like that, to the details as much as possible. So we're sitting with this brand and they're like, no, we've run this exercise before where we shot like a big budget video, bigger than the one we're giving you. So it's not really about the money, which was interesting. It's about the ROI and you being able to show us and basically confirm where did you take and where did you spend the money we gave you. Facts. And then if anything, are you able, yes, you projected for 100,000 rand. Yeah. But can you reduce that figure where possible so that, yes, we've got the 100,000 cap, but are you able to reduce it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that works in favor. Yeah. It works in the relationship context. And they then, next time when another thing comes on the table, they feel like, no, these guys are very sufficient and they're very aware that, look, money don't grow on trees. You know, and the ROIs and the communication back becomes very important.
That's so interesting you say that, because I think the biggest lack in why those relationships don't ever really get handled the right way is because more often than not, the hats that the person who's leading a relationship is wearing is actually not conducive enough for the role they're supposed to be playing. So let me elaborate. As an artist manager, do you know what I'm trying to say? Your overall role is to manage the operations of the artist, right?
Yes.
However, like in any business and corporate, there are different specialists within an organization. So specifically in entertainment, it kind of seems like most managers become the accountants, and then the counsel, and then the consultants, and so on and so forth, which are very specialist fields. So what I normally find is the time where those deals go well is when you have the context of understanding that it's more than just the money, you know, from a finance head. It's more than just what my artist needs from an artist manager head. It's more than just about, logistics and how much crew we have from a production element. So the guys can actually get in the room and be able to wear those different hats tend to do better, because they are, wouldn't say jack of all trades, but they actually kind of have more than one role in skill sets and not just title.
That's good. And then it's having somebody that understands that
and can play the different. So in your position, if you're that guy, you are already, a founder of a consulting company. So really the deals and brokering negotiation is in your element, And then from the artist management side, when you're sitting on tables and striking those big deals, you can get them off the bat, because why? You can understand that, okay, it's not just about the money, there's these dynamics, there's KPIs and so on and so forth. But what's also interesting is the brew that you work with is also that on the creative side.
100%.
He's the same one who's gonna come up with the, like, okay, let's shoot this TikTok video, and then probably direct the video, and 100%. Then star on the video, and then create the video and do the poster, So it's it's so dope looking at elements. I just wonder how other people in the industry kind of deal with that, like transitioning from one thing to another,
dualities, etc. So that's what also helped in our equation, like for me to be able to go from brokering the deal with the brand and then stepping away and saying, guys, I need to ensure that we deliver on both aspects. You need somebody to take a step back and ensure that those things happen. So you're giving the artists creative freedom to do what they said they wanted to do, whilst managing brand expectations
based on the
and
KPIs.
Ensuring that, you know what I'm saying? So that became like a very important role, and on God, we landed it. And that was essentially coming into this week what was like major for me that I had to just close off.
That's fire. That's fire. This reminds me of there's one of your homies who's actually very like dual in his approach, because I think he was an actor at some stage. Please remember his name.
TK Subotoma.
Yes. He went from acting and then directing and wada. I wonder like how those dynamics get handled in the
actually
space.
We're gonna shoot him the call straight up right now.
That'd actually be dope.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot him a call and have a chat with him on that. Because I was actually speaking to him yesterday. He's just worked on a short film.
Okay.
He's working on another one now, because now he's directing.
Okay.
So, which is dope. It's like a whole chat that we've navigated. He's gone had a really dope, successful acting career. Okay. And now the directing comes into chat.
That's dope. Yeah. That's fine.
My brother.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, bro?
I'm easy, brother. How are you?
Good. I was hoping to catch you not on set right now.
Nah.
You're live on Dial and Discover with myself, Kelvin, and Sia, of course.
What's up, bro?
What up?
Bless my dog.
Yeah. Look, we're just actually having a chat right now, my brother, on just artists and individuals, I guess, that have dualities in function. And, in the chat, Sia just reminded me of you, where you have the duality of being an actor and now a director as well. And, just obviously there's some challenges to it. It's a pro and con situation, but we just want to speak on that a little bit more, even in practicality. You going right now, you've had a successful acting career. You've been on some of the biggest shows actually on SA screens. And now... directing comes into play. I think more than anything, let's start to give our viewers context.
Right.
Let's start with the acting first, For you, like, I mean, if we can just mention, what are the shows? Like, give us a couple of the shows that the peoples might know or might not know.
Bro, I've been very blessed, man,
Yeah,
to have been on shows such as, The River,
yeah.
uh,
Big story.
The Queen,
Big
Damn.
story.
Kids of Joburg on
Biggest
Netflix,
story.
Damn.
MTV Sugar,
Yeah,
with Timby. So
yeah.
I've
Shout
been
out.
quite
That's
blessed
solid,
to be
bro.
That's like top 10. Like,
Yeah,
on
right.
very dope shows. Yeah.
Yeah, that no, no. That's top 10 type like biggest shows.
That's
Yeah,
what's captured our country, man. Like,
yeah.
everyone's watching this sort
Ish.
of stuff.
Nah. Shout out.
Bless,
Shout out.
brother.
No,
Yeah.
it's been a blessing. Appreciate you. Yeah.
So
So
for
it's
sorry,
yeah.
sorry. I apologize. For you, I think to direct maybe the question even more would be, what's the entry look? What does the entry look like for an actor in essay? What's the easy, hard barriers? What does an up and coming actor watching this right now? What's that conversation look like? And obviously, like we don't really know much about that space.
Yeah, I think the easy part is investing in themselves.
That's good.
If you want to
That's
be an
good.
actor, you do the necessary work. So you go to school, and you get whatever it is. If it's a degree, if it's a diploma, if it's a higher certificate, but just
So you
get
went
the
to school?
fundamentals. Just get the. I went to school for it. I went to AVDA.
Interesting.
Got my degree, and yeah, and since then I've just been blessed, to be a constant working actor.
That's right.
But yeah, bro, just you go to school, you get the fundamentals, you get the building
Yeah.
blocks, you invest in yourself, you invest in a good headshot, you go out there, you get the what's
Yeah.
called the photographers, and you put up a couple of outfits to show the different sort of characters that you can play, and you get your headshots out there, and you get yourself a good agent, and that's really the investment in yourself, and that's the easy part.
Can you speak
The
on
hard
the
part.
agent part? Can you
Yeah.
speak on that part? Like
Yeah.
how does one navigate the agent part? Because I think if I understand, even in the spaces where you have like you have consultants, you have booking agents, you have people that kind of represent you in a room to broker a deal, considering what we do as well, we know that that's an important player. So
Yeah.
how does an actor get an agent? Where does one look?
And what do they actually
Yeah,
do for
so-
the actor?
Yeah, and what do they do for the actor?
So an acting agent basically is, you can say they're the middleman between actor and client, and client being the production company that wants the actor and what have you. So what will happen is that the production company will send a brief out like, yo, we're looking for an actor, male, black, to play the role between the ages of 25 and 28. This is the character. They send your character bio, what the character's about, what's his role in the story, what's his role in the story, and the agent looks at his roster or their roster and is like, okay, TK can play this role, Calvin can play this role, this person can play this role, that person can play this role, and then they send them out to the audition. But since we came back from COVID and what have you, we've been doing self-tapes, and self-tapes is basically, an audition that you do in your home.
In your
You
home,
record yourself,
yes.
You do the shandas at home, and then you send it out to your agent, who's going to send it back to the client, which is the production company.
Yeah.
And it's just, and then the conversation happens between the two of them until, that the client says, listen, we liked TK, we liked Calvin, we'd like to see them for a callback on this date. And then you go do the callback, like, okay, cool, we actually like Calvin. Can Calvin come do a screening test? I bet Calvin goes, does a screening test, and then it's like, listen, we want to get Calvin on board. And this is another important part of the agency. And your agent is like, okay, cool. So you want Calvin costs X amount of money, or
they negotiate the fees.
Client will say, so we're shooting for. If it's a telenovela, then it's going to be a yearly. It's going to be a year contract.
Yeah.
If it's a drama series, it's going to be more like 6 weeks. And it's like, okay, so we can offer Calvin this much. Your agent says, listen, this is how much they're offering, but we can negotiate and sort of get you at this point. And then those happen, and then once the money is agreed on, they send the contract. You read through the contract. The agent reads through the contract. you sign it, and then you get to work.
Yeah. Can I ask you?
Yeah.
I think with social media being in play, which is something we speak about a lot as an active tool in 2023, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in spaces like, in spaces like branding, marketing conversations,
Yeah.
brand development and artistry as
Yeah.
well, which we've answered in the previous conversations.
Right.
The tool of social media plays a big role now, like, extremely. It's kind of become the difference almost now.
100%.
How does that look in the acting space? How does that play a role, and especially more so even between for casting, I guess. Like you said, you mentioned that you do self tapes and you've got the agent, etc. In music, I'm gonna direct the chat. In music, we've kind of switched from being discovered by a record label to being discovered on social. Right?
Justin Bieber.
Yes. So I don't know if I've given enough context for you to answer that.
No, I get you 100%.
Where does social as a tool come in?
Look, it has worked for some and not so much for others. You get your TikTokers and you get your YouTubers and what have you, and people that do skits and post them on Instagram, and sometimes that's how certain actors have been discovered, only to realize, like, when you get on set, it's a different ballgame. There's cameras, there's crew, and everybody's just all, like, a set is a very busy place, and it can get overwhelming because there are so many people and there's so many moving heads, and you need to know where you at and where you be, and you need to know your lines. Like, everybody comes prepared. So now, when you as an actor, you get on set and you're not prepared, or you're scared, or you're overwhelmed, or you're feeling this and that and the other, that plays a role, because on set is what happens on set is very different to what you're doing in your apartment or in your bedroom, or what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so what you're doing for TikTok, it's very, very, very different when there's big money on the line, and just this project that has been greenlit and been given millions and millions of rand to produce. Now there's somebody that that is sort of not on the ball as everybody else. But then on the other side of the coin, there have been those that who have stepped up and that fit right in. So it's very. It's two-sided. It's a two-sided coin. I mean, there's also been casting directors who do live auditions on Instagram Live, and
is that from the COVID times? That trend?
Yeah.
Do they still do it now? Do they still do it now?
I'm not. I haven't seen a lot of it.
Okay.
There's also being casting directors, that look for talent again on social media. They post the briefs like, we are looking for X, Y, and Z, speaking this type of language. Then that's a 2-minute monologue at what.mangmang.com. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they post that on social media. So social media has also become a very big tool to discovering new talent. Yeah. But like I said, it's
traditional still stands
with the acting stuff. With the acting stuff, it's very, 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 very.
That's interesting.
It can be a big hit or miss. Whereas I don't know how it's like with musicians, but this is the route that you are taking, and this is the route that you want to take, and now it's just a matter of you are doing it under a signed contract with this production label, but essentially you are doing what you were doing, with your own little studio at home and what have you.
Yeah.
Compared to, finding actors on socials where it's, like they're just doing it for the TikTok or it is an open audition. But then once you get on set and, you've got your director and your assistant director and these people and that people, and then you get on the day you get the executive producers come to set, and now it's just like, God damn, the big bosses are here too. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the pressure's on.
It can be, it can be a different beast. It can be quite something.
So that's very interesting because it kind of speaks to the trend of, and it's the same in music, it's the same in acting. I'd like to kind of say it's the same across the board, where hype is taking more prevalence than skill. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
yes.
I see it so much in the acting world where it's like, you know, I mean, no offense to traditional television. I think that revenue line is so different to social media, you know?
For sure.
I think people always look at like, but this platform only has 22,000 viewers versus my 400 million impressions on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think people look at the hype. So sometimes I feel like television gets under pressure where it's like, maybe if we bring this big influencer or personality into a show, they can kind of redirect their audience and grow our viewership, you know? But then that's just the hype, like the skill element.
The skill element.
Exactly. And you know what the crazy thing about that?
What's the crazy thing?
The crazy thing about that is that, you know, you're gonna get somebody that has like 2 million followers. So it's like that.
Yeah.
This, you know, we've got this person on the show. We're gonna get this viewership X, Y, and Z, and then later on, there's this. You know, later on they found out that, you know, out of those 2 million, barely even 10% is actually watching the show. That 2 million, they would rather see that person that you've got. They'd rather see everything that they're continuing posting on Instagram, on social. They would rather watch them get ready to shoot than actually watch the show.
Damn.
So it's also So they would rather watch. They would rather watch Kelvin, you know, and get ready with me. Kelvin, at this time I get on set, and then I'm on my line, and then I do this, and then I go change, and then, you know, it's first scene of the day. They would rather watch Kelvin go through all of that. They'd rather watch that content than actually the show that Kelvin is on. So it will never. I'm not. Let me not say it will never, but it's always very. It's very fickle casting somebody for their numbers because their numbers are not going to translate to viewership.
100%. I think from what I'm getting from what, you know, TK is saying here is that you kind of now want to have both.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have both to say that, yes, which now obviously more up and coming actors may have a social presence, whether it be on a TikTok, whether it be on Instagram, because the other algorithms allow, and the content, like you're saying, people consume that content like that. But in the back of it, you really want to be an actor. I think have that, but also have the skill set itself. The actual skill set.
100%.
You know, that's what I'm catching from what he's saying.
100%.
Have the actual skill set, develop the actual skill set, and then develop the traditional elements that he's mentioned where you're having your portfolio in order, you're having those elements, you're having your agent, or you're finding an agent that can work. I think if you can also give us maybe this information where cost is concerned, agency wise, like are they upfront costs, or is it a monthly cost that I pay, or is it just off commission of the work that I get? I think maybe some of our viewers would like that information.
That's definitely commission off of the work. So agents will say when you sign, with the agency, they're like, all right, cool. So for film and television, we're gonna take X amount % off of your work. Commercial, we're going to take X amount, and you know. But if there's ever a point, or if there's ever a time or a case where an agent says to you, you need to sign a joining fee, or you need to pay a joining fee, then run the other way because they are scamming you, because that is not a thing.
Shout out.
Joining fee, then we have to work, sorry.
Joining fee is not a thing. A joining fee is not a thing. The agency gets their money off the work.
And if they trust that they're in the right spaces, they shouldn't be looking for joining fees. Like, we know that we're well vested in the space, so we will get you these gigs. So that's dope.
Exactly.
That's very informative, bro. That's very, very informative. You know, I think it's so important to have these conversations because you know, one thing that social media is doing right now is there's a huge gap between perception what it looks like versus the reality of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Big gap.
Because we all posting the one of 500 photos we took where we feel like we look the most presentable, you know what I'm trying to say? And not what we actually look like in the moment, you know?
100%.
And in context to the work, it's like, I think so many people make it look so easy, but people don't even know where to go, you know?
Yes.
There's a lot of young kids who are constantly so frustrated, so depressed because they are trying to base their gauge of success based on the perception of somebody else.
Yes.
So when they look at the reality, it's like, I'm not where they are because they got a beamer and this, wada. But you don't understand the back end of the work and what an agent even is and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's such a big gap, man. For
Which is why this is so crucial, because I know that, you know, we publicly know about, you know, developing an up and coming this or whatever. We know few, you know, like actors, but we know about few actors, but there's many people who would love to. In some cases, you have artists that want to go into acting. In some cases, you have models that want to go into acting. In some cases, you get what I'm saying? You've got that the duality concept, the idea that we're talking about. I think while we're on that, I think just segue into the fact that, you know, TK, as an actor now, you've already begun your journey now as a director as well, in addition. I think coming off the elements of, you know, what it takes to come in as an actor, having the duality for you, is it a challenging journey now for you? And what does that look like? I mean, you're running now a successful acting career. You're navigating that, but now you're adding this directing aspect as well. You know, if you can just share with us the entry level, like, you know, have you been able to leverage what you have developed,
as
or
an actor into
do you start from zero? Like, what does that look like?
Look, essentially, you do start from zero, but you start from zero with knowledge. You know what I mean? With knowledge on set, with knowledge of how a director sort of goes about their day. But that's only like 1%, maybe like, let me say Boomer like 5, maybe 10% of what the director actually does, you know. What they do on set is the end product, you know. There's pre-production meetings, there's storyboarding, there's, you know, getting everything in order. Like you sit down with the head of department and you're like, okay, on this day we're shooting this scene and this character is doing this. Do we have the essential props? What do we know if actors are allergic to 1, 2, 3, 4 because the script says they're going to eat 1, 2, 3, 4? Can they eat this? Are they okay with this? Do they want this? Do they want that? So with directing, you basically you start with knowledge on set, but it's the knowledge before everything happens on set that is far more crucial. I believe the preparation into going on set, that is the far more crucial part of directing, because
so the acting has helped the directing.
For the most part, yes, and that's like
just from context and
from experience wise.
The end project, yeah. But you know, once you really delve into directing, and then you see the work that goes behind
what you thought it was, based on what you perceived.
Before you see the final product, before you yell action, before you yell cut, that work before that, the months of preparation before that, the weeks of preparation before that, that's the more that's the part where you really start from ground zero, because that is how you prepare as an actor. It's like, okay, so this is my script and this is where the story is going, and you know, this is where I should, you know, sort of direct my emotions when I say this particular line or whatever the case is. It's a totally different chat with directors and how they plan their day and how they plan how the character moves, the character movements, the character blocking.
Right.
It's a whole other world, and that's really where the bulk of the learning comes from.
The
when
and stuff,
you did not sort of study directing, but directing is a segue for you from acting. You know?
Okay.
That's perfect.
Nah,
That's perfect.
shout out.
I really do appreciate, this call with TK because just thank you so much for your vulnerability and honesty, bro. I think that's one of the biggest things that we lack in the industry, And TK, officially, we have an element in the show that we call dial a friend. If we're not well vested in a space, or don't understand it too much, or don't really have the most context as far as the professional side is concerned, we like to dial a friend to give us some context and help us answer some difficult questions. So this conversation is heaven sent because you're definitely one of those friends of the show that we always call upon when we need to help some people, in these spaces. And thank you so much for what you've really shared today. I feel like it's really a lot, man.
Yeah. And shout out to you guys with what you do. If you guys are really creating an informative space for kids who want to enter the industry, whether it's music, whether it's acting. These are the type of platforms that that we didn't have and what the kids have, and that's what they need. So shout out to you guys for creating this podcast and creating this platform and this space for kids to get that extra knowledge. Certain things that you don't really learn from school, and
exactly.
you gotta learn from the streets. You gotta learn from the streets.
The streets. That's why we're outside.
That's why we're outside.
You gotta learn outside. You gotta learn, from the culture experts, and the people that have been there. And you guys, that's what you guys provide. And shout out to you guys, man.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother, for taking this call. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll chop it up offline. And I know you've just dropped a new short film just recently. I'm gonna have that on the social so that people can check it out when this episode also drops.
That's dope.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Much love. Thank you, my brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right.
Take it easy. Don't go. Power.
Power.
So much information. I want to watch this like 10 times over.
I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we did that. That was so dope because it gives context, so much context, especially from how to navigate in, and essentially maybe the next chat becomes when you're inside. How do you navigate the momentum and the growth? But I think for most people, it's just that entry level, whether it be on a directing side or acting side. And I think one of the things that kind of having a conversation like this with a different industry becomes our elements same or similar, which for me is the preparation.
Right.
Preparation.
Right? Yeah.
Because most guys want to enter a space and they don't prepare.
They just want to go.
They don't do the homework. They don't do the research. The last time we spoke about what? We spoke about the fact that if you're gonna go into it, study it.
Study the game. Yeah.
Study the
Understand
game.
what you're doing.
And
I'm really loving, the way that this show is formulating, and growing because the element of dial and discover is exactly that. It doesn't have to be a question. It doesn't have to be, some type of us helping whatever, because as we are trying to help other people discover, we're also discovering ourselves. And I think it's more also for the viewers just out there, watching the show and trying to understand the concept and how they can be involved. It's always just about adding value, Sometimes it doesn't have to be a question. Sometimes it can just be, you hitting us up on the link and saying, I've always had this in my heart and I'm thinking about this. Can you just dial me? We can talk about this, So it's great. It's amazing. And I pray that, we can keep adding value and keep getting people trying to come into the space and share, because this is a community that we just facilitate.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
That
was nice.
The people around us are calling time, so we're gonna call that. I think it was solid. I think it was good. If anything, the platform, like you said, the platform that we're creating, and TK even said, our friend, to say that the platform is to just give information that we probably would have loved to have when we were coming up, etc., in a respective industry. And hence why we're just trying to spread it as far as we can and have conversations in as many industries as we can, because the whole point is to dial and discover in any space. But thank you very much for watching.
Yes,
we do appreciate it.
Always.
That's our time. But please do like, comment, and subscribe. Share this. We do appreciate you guys watching and engaging with us. All the comments. Please shoot us your question if you have any question, even coming from the conversation we just had. If you have an additional question, shoot us that, and maybe we can discuss that on our next episode. But thank you very much. We do appreciate you guys. That's today's show. Dial and Discover, D&D. One time.
Danke, Asbon.